Good morning, everyone. I'm back in the car again. I've got Rapture Kitty. Meow. He's not wanting to sleep right now. He's just had a night's sleep, so he's in good shape. I'm going to put you over there, though, see how much he pesters me. Nice. He's recently found he has a tail. He starts chasing it. I'm driving to visit with my son. He's got another chiropractor appointment. So hopefully we can start getting him back to normal. So for today's video, like it. It helps YouTube know how to place it. Subscribe. It also helps. And click on the bell icon. I post videos every morning at 6, and I post funny memes if I find them, just because sometimes life is too serious. We've got to enjoy it. So, for today, I'm going to re-hit another topic that we've talked about in the past. God said I need to talk about it, so I will. Are you trapped in sin? It literally is a trap. You can be a slave to it, especially if it's one that gives you a moment of pleasure. Whatever the sin is, I'm not going to go into the long list of possible candidates. You know what it is, but it's something that you're reluctant to get rid of because it's like, well, it's the only thing I've got left that makes me feel good. That's the lie from Satan. You say, well, how do I know if I'm trapped in it? One, are you repeatedly asking for forgiveness for it? You don't feel lost if you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, you're lost, and you will feel that. But if you're a Christian, you won't feel lost, but you're not going to feel totally connected. How do you know if you're totally connected? You're going to have and feel the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22. You're not going to feel love for people. You're not going to have joy in your heart, at least all the time. A good, faithful Christian should feel joyous all the time. You're not going to have a peace about things. Don't even get into traffic. I have to pay attention. Take the cruise control off. This long stretch of highway is 65 and it's good, but as soon as you get to town, it drops down. We're not quite there to the 55 yet, but people are starting to enter the road. You got to pay attention. Rapture Kitty's sitting right up on my dash, so we can watch what's going on. Meow. So what do you do? I'm going to borrow some techniques from Alcoholics Anonymous. I am not an alcoholic. I don't think I ever could have been classified as one. There's a drug that they give alcoholics, that if you drink it, you get deadly sick. I don't know what it is. Al-Anon, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not important. The point of the matter is there is one. My body does that to me automatically. If I drink alcohol in anything larger than a very small amount, I will get deadly sick. Praying to the porcelain god. So I occasionally will have a sip or two here and there if I'm at a social event and somebody hands me a drink. How often am I at one of those? Once or twice a year. I don't buy alcohol. Okay, so I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm not giving you first-hand knowledge from myself, but I have people that I've worked with and tried to help that were. And eventually they have to, if you go to a meeting, and I went with them to a meeting because I wanted to make sure they were there, the first thing you have to do is admit you have the problem. Hello, I'm Joe Smith and I'm an alcoholic. If you don't admit it, you can't fix it. So whatever your sin is, and hopefully you've only got one addiction to a sin, but maybe you've got multiple, especially if you're a new Christian and you haven't had enough time to work all these out. In Alcoholics Anonymous, you have a lifeline of somebody you can call if you're feeling the need to drink. And this person has to be willing to come and visit with you if you need it. Listen to you talk if nothing more, but come visit if you need it. Another analogy would be, what happens if you fall off a horse? What are the steps you take? Well, first off, it should have been an accident, unless you're a stunt person. While you're on the ground, you're going to kind of feel around and make sure you didn't break anything. You're going to slowly stand up because something probably hurts. You fell in the dirt more than likely, so you're going to brush yourself off. You're going to look where your horse is. You might have run 30 yards away, laughing. Horses can laugh. And you're going to go over to it, and you're going to get right back on and continue on. God gives us that ability. We can be instantly forgiven as soon as we recognize that we have sin. We hand the sin to Jesus and say, forgive me, and you're forgiven. Everything in the past, when you accept Christ, you're automatically forgiven for. We're going to continue to sin while we're on this planet. So don't feel that it's hopeless. Don't feel that something that you can't ever get away from. It may take time. There's our cop sitting here on the side of the road in his usual spot. I don't ever have to worry about it. I'm not saying I don't speed, but I don't speed on a regular basis, and most of the time I gravity speed. In other words, if I'm going down a hill, I'm not going to be riding my brake all the time. It depends on the hill and the conditions, but if I go 3 or 4 or 5 miles over, as soon as I get to the bottom of the hill, I'll slow right back down again because gravity's not working. All right. So you test yourself. And you can do this throughout the day. Start going through the fruits of the Spirit. See if you have them. They say that they will know we are Christians by our love. Okay, do you have love for others? Needs to be the godly type of love. Okay, Rocky's back and he wants to play. And he's biting me. Stop biting me. Stop biting me. hand up on the wheel. Stop it. Once you realize that you have a problem, you just simply have to acknowledge it, and then you think about, you plan your day. You test yourself with the spirits, because you got the Spirit in you. The Spirit will let you know. Look at the fruits of the Spirit to see if you have them. And then think about it. What happens that leads up to it? And try to avoid that. You're not a dummy. You may play like you are, but you're not. You know what causes it. So all you have to do is just make sure you don't allow that situation to come up. I know my dad had a problem with smoking. He tried to quit. He'd hand me his pack of cigarettes and say, "Don't let me have a cigarette." By the end of the day, I was giving him his pack of cigarettes back because he was getting threatening. He wasn't going to kill me, but he was going to wring my neck if I didn't give him his cigarettes. Stop biting, kitty. You know you can't do that in the car. Now he's in my lap. Okay, well, I can't let him distract me. See, this is what you got to do. You got to take control of the situation. You can't get down at my feet. Go on, get out of there. Okay, he's back up. He fell down. He knows he's not supposed to be down there. All right. We all have to deal with this every day. You fall off, you dust yourself off, you get back on the horse. You admit you have the problem, you confess it to Jesus, and you're free to continue doing what you're supposed to be doing for Him. Pretty much everything you do, you should be doing for Jesus. If you're going to work because you have a family to support, well, you're doing that for Jesus. He's given you the family to be entrusted to you, so you have to do what you have to do. Come on, Katie. Got a stoplight coming up so I can handle him. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Trying to bite me. Well, I'm in a small town now, but it's kind of sprawled out, and there's a lot of, once I'm up here this far, I'll basically be in some sort of a town all the way to my son. Where I came from, I was a long way from civilization. I've driven this drive so much, I don't have my navigator on. I know where I'm at. I know where the alternative roads are. The only thing I won't know is if they've got something blocked off. When I was driving, I guess it was Saturday, I was going into work. They were getting ready to do a rolling escort on the freeway. I don't know if there was a celebrity in town. I know the Big T's supposed to be in town this week. I don't think that was Wednesday. I don't think that was Saturday. I think that's Wednesday coming up. So, in any case, you have to be willing to adapt. The Spirit can adapt instantly. You have to be ready to follow the Spirit. Okay, so I want you to have a good life. I want you to be happy and joyous and peaceful. So you just have to follow the Spirit everywhere you go, all the time. Don't take your eye off of God. We don't have a lot more time. We're down to predicting between now and the election, which isn't very far away. So what, about 3 weeks? There's Kitty in the window. Let's start moving again. A lot of us are hoping that. But I have mixed emotions about it because I know what's coming. And I know that a lot of people are not going to be ready for it. And there's one more thing that I've witnessed recently. If you've got two people who are sinning, without going into detail, just know that that's not good. And you end up seeing that tension build up inside to anger. And you see these people fighting, arguing. Hopefully not physically, but you don't have to fight physically to hurt somebody. So if you've got a problem and you're fighting with somebody, you need to stop the problem. Because you're grieving the Spirit. And when you grieve the Spirit, you feel it. You don't have that joyous feeling, that peaceful feeling. It's just the opposite. And when that happens, you end up butting heads. All right. I hope these car talks are okay with you. Sometimes I do things very specifically. I'm a narrow-minded planning person, which means that if I get busy doing something, I forget about everything else. So I have to stop and take the time to see where I'm at, what I'm doing on a regular basis. And if I don't have it written down, I will forget sometimes. I try to keep an agenda, but it depends. Some days are just too variable to have one to follow all the way. I'll put the important things down that I have to do, but it's hard sometimes. That's pretty good. I hit all 3 lights in this section. This section of road, I'm transitioning from one state route to another state route. And there's like a 2-mile gap in between. They're not connected. And this little gap's got 3 lights. I don't always get to go through all 3 without stopping. Most of the time I stop at all 3 of them, because you get caught in a cycle sometimes. All right. Do your best. God's loving and forgiving, but He has a plan to help you. Let Him help you. The Spirit wants to help you. Spirit is called, one of the names of the Holy Spirit is the Comforter. Let him comfort you. Till we meet in the clouds. God bless.